Hey, what's going on, everybody? Thank you all for joining me at this time. My name is Shavi Zane, and I'm coming on to bring a message for the chosen, specifically the divine feminine. If you find that this message resonates with you in any way, please be sure to like, subscribe, leave a comment below, and let us know how it resonates with your circumstance. So, first of all, divine feminine, chosen out there, I want to talk to you all about your position now that you have awakened. You have been assigned to do a lot of powerful things in your bloodline, divine feminine, chosen seed. You have done great works when it comes to healing yourself and activating your DNA and accessing your Akashic records and breaking generational cycles and cutting karmic contracts and, completely shifting and transforming into this new being that's, setting trends and paving pathways that hasn't been done for a long time in your lineage. This is very, very intimidating, I have to tell you, because, you know, Big Mama, right? The matriarch of the family had a specific, there were specific traits or characteristics about that particular position over the past few generations. Okay. I'm not talking about way back in ancient times. I'm talking about over the last couple of 100 years. There's been a specific energy that was projected. And while many of them came with the intention of love, a lot of them, their position was to bring the family together, right? You will find that there would be one matriarch of the family where everybody will congregate around this particular woman who was very strong, who was very vocal, who was the guiding light, right? She gave advice. She cooked great meals, right? She often cooked great meals and, made sure that you went to church and, told you to, how you should manage in your relationships and things of that nature. And so at that time, her energy was very much so needed to be the backbone of the family. Now, pressing forward here as we push into the age of Aquarius, we find that the energy of the matriarch has now shifted tremendously. And for some of you, you might find that that particular big mama, she's no longer here, right? That particular matriarch that everybody surrounded themselves around, in a lot of cases, she's no longer here. She could have gone on and transitioned, right? And so now you are here, divine feminine. And you have great shoes to fill. But the difference between yourself and the other matriarchs in your lineage is that you come in awakened. You come in awakened. You come in rebellious, no longer following traditions, taking a different spiritual path, using different remedies and, solutions for healing yourself and for guiding others. You come in as a powerhouse, and practically everything that you are bringing with you is totally different. It takes the entire lineage out of their comfort zone. I'm talking about for the past couple of 100 years, y'all. It takes people out of their comfort zone, and they have a hard time accepting that you are now the matriarch. You will find that many of the women in your family will not crown you with this position, largely because it's not their position to crown you with that anyway. However, consider a lot of people out here have gotten so conditioned to believe the conditioning of society that they have placed a certain look on what that big mama would be, right? She must be in the church. She must be, into the Bible. She must be preaching about Jesus. She must be willing to stay in unhealthy relationships or willing to, a lot of times, unfortunately, that big mama is also promoting whooping the children in a very harsh manner. Not every situation is the same, but I'm saying if we're honest here, extension cords, we talking about in the melanated community. I don't know about anybody else's community, but in the melanated community, extension cords, taking limbs off a tree. Look, I said the whole limb. Hold on now. Not the limb, but the twig, okay? And really, shaving that down real good and sharp. These are the types of things that your great grandmother or the ones that you might have considered the matriarch actually believed in, okay? Knock you upside the head with a doggone pan, okay? And this was supposed to be discipline. These are the things that were supposed to train up a child in the way he should go, because when he is older, he will do right by them, right? But these things were very traumatizing. And I'm not saying that everything that matriarch brought to the lineage was negative. However, it was survival mode tactics that particular matriarch may have brought to the family. Survival mode tactics. You come in with a totally different light, divine feminine. You come in with the energy of thriving tactics. You want to teach people how to thrive. So you come in telling them, hey, you got to change the way that you think. All of that negative thinking ain't working for you. And you'll find that family members start giving you the side eye because they like, what you mean change the way that I think? How is that going to pay my bills? Right? They get mad because you're speaking truths that it seems too simplistic, right? It seems too good to be true. It seems like you're just feeding them lemon drops and gumdrops when in fact you are literally bringing jewels, okay, very valuable wisdom to your bloodline. But you will find that those cousins, those aunts, sometimes even your own mama, your these are people who will have a hard time accepting that your wisdom is what the bloodline has been missing. And so because they have a hard time embracing what you are bringing to the family, they will often look down on you, right? They will be the naysayers. They will say that you have gone astray. You have taken the path of wickedness. What you know and what you are doing is going to take you straight to hell. And they'll go around saying, I hope she ain't teaching that to them kids. I hope that she don't think she going to come over here teaching that to my babies, right? Instead of understanding that what you bring is so valuable that it can literally shift their entire life for generations if they would just accept that you are truly the new matriarch of the family. This can be the hardest part to deal with because you know that the Most High Mother and Father has crowned you with this position. But while the Most High Mother and Father has crowned you with this position, many of your family members will shun you and say, not that one. It can't be that one, right? Because their conditioning and their traditional belief systems will not allow them to embrace who you are and what you came here to bring to the family. So lots of divine feminines, generally you will find yourself surrounded by very jealous women. And it's unfortunate, but it's very true, okay? I've spoken to many divine feminine chosen seeds who have issues with aunts. They have issues with mothers. They have issues with sisters, right? Cousins. This is a common theme because with one thing about it, the reason why they have an issue with you is, number one, they know that you're different. You've always been different. You've always stood out, right? They know that you have a good heart. They can't deny that either. But now that you've gone through your transformation and you've awakened, this is highly intimidating because your awakening causes you to take the front row seat, right? You take the steering wheel of your life. And so you're not just passively existing anymore. You're not in survival mode anymore. You're not out here codependent on unhealthy relationships and connections anymore. You are not willing to take advice that no longer suits or serves you, right? So in the past, you might have gone to that aunt who has an issue with you and you might have told her certain things and she might have said, well, girl, You need to beat that baby's ass, right? You need to go on out there like we used to do back in the day. You better get that extension cord. You better put some marks on them, because if you don't, they not. But now you've awakened to the point where you recognize it's bigger than that, right? You are actually traumatizing that child in a way where you're leaving scars that go beyond the physical realm. These are spiritual, emotional, and mental scars that they would have to go back. That child would have to go back and do a lot of deep diving to unravel and to clear out that energy. You see things from a higher perspective. And so this is highly intimidating to those who came from a different generation of people who were strictly in survival mode, because now they see you as being rebellious. They see you as not valuing their truth, not valuing what they would consider to be wisdom, right? But see, those things were solutions when we were suppressed during the time of enslavement. Those solutions were very harsh but necessary, because that was the time of surviving, right? You had to keep your children alive. So you had to take harsh measures in order to remind them that there's certain things that they just could not do, or they could end up losing their life. So as that mama bear being in survival, you took on very aggressive tactics in order to protect your offspring, especially because they had taken the power away from the man to enforce that structure, that discipline, and that ability to maintain their emotions and to handle things a particular way. They completely uh, emasculated the man, right? So the woman had to take on this excessive, like extreme sense of masculinity that pushed her into survival mode and taking aggressive measures in order to discipline her children. And so these are things that got passed down over the past few generations, because that was the only thing that they knew. So you come in, divine feminine, with a totally different measure of doing things, right? You might turn around and tell your aunt, look, no, we don't do it like that. Usually I let them just cry it out, or, I have them meditate, or I'll have them go outside and walk in the grass. And they like, what? Girl, please, right? They won't receive it. Many of them will not. Now you are very, very, let's just say you have a straight gift if you have women in your family who respect your wisdom and they embrace it and they say, yes, that's the way that you should go. That's a gift. Okay, so embrace that. But a lot of times that's not the case, especially in a melanated community. But consider, you will have a lot of women around you, even like, let's just say if it's sisters, right? They may have a hard time embracing that you have been crowned or gifted with all of this wisdom, all of these spiritual gifts. And, they see you thriving now, because see, when you stop living in a survival mode mindset and you're committed to thriving, your life starts to change. Okay. Everything begins to change from the inside out. You change. And then as a result of that, so does your environment, so does your living circumstances, so does your finances, so does, your children. Their energy could be totally different from the energy of your sister's children or your female cousin's children, right? The energy would be totally different because they are still listening to the matriarch that's telling them that, okay, you have to rear them up this way, right? You have to talk to them this way. You have to guide them this way. Right. So the children are being reared up in survival mode, whereas as a divine feminine, if you have your own children, your children are being raised up in the mindset of thriving. They're learning about embarking, embracing their gifts and not being completely saturated and confined in the system, worried about, okay, what you going to do? You need to be focused so you can get you a 9 to 5, right? You're showing them, hey, you can get out there and make money on your own doing what you love. Okay. Activate your passions, activate your creativity, start thinking positive thoughts. Remember that what you say create things. Like, you are teaching from a totally different perspective. And this is very, very, very uncomfortable for a lot of the women in the family. But you gotta understand that this is also a part of the process and the shift that needs to happen. Because while the women who are your age or older may not embrace or accept your position, the younger people in your family will most certainly look to you and look up to you when it comes to getting advice on how to live, how to think, how to move, how to handle particular circumstances and situations. You will inspire them. They will recognize you, even if they don't say it out loud. They'll be watching you. If they have access to you to where they can see what you're up to and, how things are moving, or even well after you're gone, you will be labeled the matriarch of the family because you came in and you set trends. You changed the whole game, Divine Feminine. So if you find that you've been asking that question, how come a lot of the women in my family don't embrace me, they don't accept me, they don't want to receive my wisdom, they want to shut me down, it's because they see the matriarch in you. But as a result of them seeing that, now you force them to question their own beliefs and their own values and those traditional patterns and belief systems that they are struggling to let go of. So you come in and you challenge the narrative. You change the entire canvas. So keep doing what you're doing, Divine Feminine. Don't let any of them deter you, because they will. There's going to be a lot of pushback. There's going to be a lot of power struggles, but this is not your fight. It's not for you to convince them. It's for you to just inspire, to continue to live and continue to be the example. Some will follow suit. Others will completely just turn a blind eye and reject what you have to bring. But regardless of their position, regardless of whether they accept it or not, you have still been crowned that position by the Most High Mother and Father. And when they crown you, no one can come in and say that that is not your rightful throne. So stand tall, stand firm, keep going, Divine Feminine, keep shining your light. Don't let anybody come in and dim it. Don't let naysayers come in and tell you that you're wrong, because you are doing great things for your lineage and you will be rewarded and recognized for it. You are the ancestor that your future generations will look for and look up to. That's my message for you all. Like, subscribe, leave a comment below. I love you, and I'll talk to you all next time.